Hello, welcome back. So, for today, I'm going to be solving a question in bearing, which makes use of cosine rule. So, the question says from a boy treks 12 kilometers due south to B. He changes direction and treks 5 kilometers due west to C. Again, he changes direction and treks a further 8 kilometers on a bearing of north 31 degrees west to D. How far is D from A? I'm going to be starting by first of all sketching what we have. So it says from a boy treks 12 kilometers due south. So let's assume that this here is my A. And because they said he travels due south, it means that he traveled exactly south. So this here is my north and down here is my south. So he traveled due south to B and they said 12 kilometers. So let's assume that this here is 12 kilometers to B. So this here is going to be my B. He changes direction and treks 5 kilometers due west to C. This here is going to be my east and this is my west. So how many he travels 5 kilometers due west. So let me say that this here is 5 kilometers. Okay. And they said again he changes direction to C. To C. So this here is my C. Again, he changes direction and treks a further 8 kilometers on the bearing of north 31 degrees west. So up here is my north and we are moving westward. So let's assume that this here is my 31 degrees. So this here is 31 degrees. And he traveled 8 kilometers. So let's say that this is my 8 kilometers. And they are asking how far is D from A. This is my D and this is my A. So what we have to do is that we have to connect these 2 points together. So when I connect it, this is what I'm going to be having. But if you look at this shape here, this is not a triangle. So I can simply, since this here is a right angle because it is exactly due north and due south. So I can just maybe sketch or produce a line here. So now I'm going to be having a triangle here and a right angle triangle here. So remember, this here is at 31 degrees, these are 5 kilometers, 12 kilometers, 8 kilometers, and this is what we're looking for. Let me call it small c, side C. So now firstly, what I have to do is that I have to find the angle here. As you can see, they only gave us 31 degrees and this is for this part, but we don't know what this remaining part is. So to find this part here, since the sum of these two is going to give me a right angle triangle, I can find the side here, the angle here, and then subtract it from 90 degrees to get what is here because they are complementary angles. So to find that, I can just make use of this right angle triangle here. So we can just make use of one of the trigonometric ratios to find the angle there. But if you look at this right angle triangle that we have here, we're only given two sides, which is the adjacent and the opposite. So let's assume, so we have to look for one of these trigonometric ratios that has opposite and adjacent, and that is tan. So let me call this theta. So tan theta is equal to opposite, which is 12, over adjacent, which is 5 kilometers. So now I'm going to be making use of my calculator to find tan theta, to find 12 divided by 5. So 12 divided by 5 is giving me 2.4. So what I have here is tan theta is equal to 2.4. So since I'm looking for theta, not tan theta, I can simply divide both sides by tan. So when I divide both sides by tan, I'm getting that my theta is equal to the tan inverse of 2.4. So if I should find the tan inverse of 2.4 using my calculator, I'm getting a decimal number. I'm getting 67 points. I'm going to approximate it to two decimal places. So I'm getting that my tan theta is equal to 67.38. So that means the angle here is 67.38 degrees. So to find what is here, I'm going to be doing 90 degrees minus 67.38. So 90 minus 67.38, whatever it gives me is going to be here. So let me just punch that in my calculator. 90 degrees minus 67.38, and I'm getting 22.26. 0.62, sorry. So what is here is 22.62 degrees. So if I should add these two together, 31 degrees is here, remember. So 31 plus 22.62, I'm going to be getting 53.62 degrees. So that's the angle there. So now, since we've gotten the angle there, and we've gotten that this side here is 8 kilometers, and we are looking for this side, and remember the cosine rule. Cosine rule states that a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Now, what we are looking for here is c. So I'm going to be having that c squared is equal to, we have here, so let me just call it, okay, this side is going to be my small d and this side is going to be my a, is equal to a squared plus d squared minus 2ad cos c. Now, as you can see, we already have that our A is 8 kilometers, but we don't know the value of our D. So before we find what we are looking for, we have to first of all find D. And this here is a right angle triangle. And remember, when you're looking for one of the sides of a right angle triangle, you have to make use of a Pythagoras theorem, which states that c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. So since we have this side and this side, we are looking for the hypotenuse. It means that we're going to find the sum of the square of these two. So I'll be having that 12 squared plus 5 squared is going to be giving me what I need. 12 squared is 144 and 5 squared is 25. And 144 minus plus 25 is 169. So if I find the square root of 169, I'm getting 13. So my D is equal to 13 kilometers. Now, since I found the value of my D, I can now use the informations that I have to substitute in this formula and find the unknown side that we're looking for. So my C squared is going to be, my A is 8. 8 squared plus D is 13 minus 2 times A is 8 plus, times 13 cos. My C is 53.62. Now 8 squared is 64, 13 squared is 169, 2 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 13 is giving me 208 cos 53.62. Now 208 multiplied by cos 53.62 is giving me 123.37. So I'll be having minus 123.37. So 64 plus 169 is 233. So all I have to do is just subtract these two. So 233 minus 123.37 is 109.63. So I'm having that my C squared is equal to this. So now to find the value of C, all I have to do is find the square root of both sides. So the square root of this and the square root of this. So my C is going to be equal to the square root of 109.63 is 109.63 is 10.47. Don't forget to add your SI unit, which is kilometer. So therefore, what we are looking for, which is C, is equal to 10.47 kilometer. So this here is the distance from D to A. Please, if this is your first time coming across my video, and if you found this helpful, or you have any question whatsoever, or any comments whatsoever, please send that in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share, and of course subscribe. Thank you.